talk first.
Mickey was born in Virginia Beach, and he was drawn into the surf culture, going down and living early on in the 70s in a trailer in Buxton, North Carolina, and got the fever for making surfboards in the company of Greg Lore, Pete Dooley, and Scott Busby. They were all experimenting, and Mickey was one of those guys. He got a job up in Virginia Beach with wave riding vehicles, but he and his wife, Betsy, just didn't quite feel like that was what they wanted to do, and they took a big leap of faith and headed down to Nag's Head and moved there permanently. He started his surfboard business after he bought Don Bennett's old shop in Nag's Head, right across from the Nag's Head Pier, and he started New Sun Surfboards. And he picked a name. I don't know when that name was picked, but we all know about 3M as a product. That's a big corporation that makes everything under the sun industrial-wise. Well, he decided he'd be 2M. He was Mickey McCarthy. So his moniker from that point on became 2M, and his surfboards, New Sun Surfboards. He was amazing with what he did in his photography of the Outer Banks. It literally changed the opinion of the surfing community because of his photos being published in Surfer magazine and ESM magazine. But it was Surfer that they looked at and they saw juice, they saw power, because our reputation has always been that there was no power. I mean, there's no surf on the East Coast. I still hear that today. Is there surf on the East Coast? Well, in the Outer Banks, it is real. And his photography exposed that. And that was one of his major things. He was one of the most well-liked guys. He had a smile and a story for everybody he came across. He was just a gentleman, a scholar in photography. He learned the hard way. He picked up, he didn't have the best cameras. He got instructions from other photographers, and Mickey McCarthy was a legend. I introduced to you his wife, Betsy, and Matt Pruitt is coming up to say a few words, but let's hear it. Recently departed Mickey McCarthy. This is Betsy.
I don't have a whole lot to say. Mickey was the one that was much more gregarious than I am. But Mickey was a great old soul. And he loved what he did. He loved his life immensely. From shop to shop that he had, to teaching those that were younger how to make boards or how to shoot photography. He always had somebody that he would share his craft with. He was one of the most humble people in the world that you could ever meet. And he would be very proud and happy for getting this today. And he loved the Outer Banks and all who supported him. So that's about all I have to say about him.
Treat others like you want to be treated. Try not to be too serious and just flow with it. I know it's kind of hippie, but that's what's gotten me through all these years. That was Mickey McCarthy's philosophy. I know this because he told me in one of the many interviews I conducted with him over the years for any number of projects we may have been working on at the time. I knew him well. He was one of my best friends, one of my original colleagues, one of my chief influences. We spoke often. In fact, we spoke the day before he died. I just finished surfing the south side of Rodanthe Pier. The waves were barreling, the water was green, and that morning light was perfect for that unique, coveted pier vantage point, which was always Mickey's favorite angle. I knew he was in the hospital, but that he was awake, and he was taking phone calls. I could hear his smile, if that makes any sense. It was palpable. Downplaying the gravity of the situation, naturally, Mickey told me that yes, he suffered a scare, but that he was feeling much better, and he couldn't wait to come home and shoot with all the boys again. He never did. That was a little over a year ago, and to be honest, nothing feels the same. Getting a surf photo doesn't feel the same. Working in surf media doesn't feel the same. Surfing doesn't feel the same. Living on the Outer Banks doesn't feel the same. It's all still fun, still rewarding, still better than anything else we could be doing with our lives. But it's, I don't know, since losing Mickey, it's all kind of diluted. You don't lose a man like Mickey McCarthy without it leaving a mark. 2M has done more than any single human being to nail our beach onto the compass of surf culture. He was the most integral figure in Outer Banks surfing history, period. More emblematic than OBX or even the Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. As far as I'm concerned, there was Blackbeard, there were the Wright brothers, and there was Mickey McCarthy. But what I've lost, what we've all lost, is only as devastating as what we've gained is revelatory. Simply put, I'm a better person because of Mickey McCarthy. The jolliest man living on a sandbar filled with the moodiest people. He taught us all how to preach love and actually mean it, how to live in awe of nature, and how to give more than we take from the surfing lifestyle. Now, when confronted with any obstacle, any opponent, any valley in a life otherwise defined by its peaks, I pause, I breathe, and I think, what would Mickey do? Treat others like you want to be treated, try not to be too serious, and just flow with it. Betsy, thank you for sharing this wonderful man with us.